Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and today we're going to be reviewing the P5 from Sire. Let's do this. This is the P5 from Sire, and this is one of the most highly anticipated basses of 2021. Why? Well, you only have to look at the spec sheet to figure that out. Starting with the body, we have a North American alder body in a beautiful red, which appears to be a Fiesta red, and it is absolutely eye-popping. I think this color is gorgeous. I'm usually not a fan of solid red basses, but this one definitely caught my eye. And that is paired with a Tort pickguard, a split coil pickup, just like, a P bass, and a volume and tone control. And attached to this body is a gorgeous roasted maple neck with a lacquered fingerboard. This has a 41.3 millimeter nut width and 20 frets. This is a very, very comfortable neck. I love the neck on this bass. And what do you get all this for? $500. That's right, this bass is $500 brand new. Now, they're very hard to find right now, so if you're able to snag one, definitely do so. I'm just going to say that straight up. This is one of the best P-bass offerings out there right now for the price. For hardware, we have Sire's regular stuff. This is a regular Sire bridge with string through body or string through bridge options available. I have the strung through the body with MJC Ironworks nickel plated stainless steel, 45 to 105 strings. And up at the headstock, we have Sire's regular tuners. Both the tuners and neck are essentially what you get in a V7. So these are higher quality tuners versus the tuners that you get on the V3, which I am not a fan of. But yes, the hardware on this is quite solid for the $500 price point. Essentially very similar to what you get in the V5. The V is a jazz style bass, the P is a P style bass. So you're pretty much getting some similar stuff there, but for good reason. I mean, the 5 series, in my opinion, is one of Sire's strongest offerings. Now, the icing on the cake for this bass, besides the price tag, is they also offer it in a 5-string version. I will be doing a separate video in the future on the 5-string version of this bass, however, I was only able to secure the 4-string at the time. Now, I did get this bass direct from Sire at an artist discount, so thank you, Sire, for that. It's greatly appreciated. Now, let's go ahead and turn this bass around real quick. Now, around back, you can see there's not a whole lot going on because this is a passive instrument, as opposed to the V3 or V7 or P7, which are active basses that feature an active preamp. This bass is completely passive. We have string ferrules at the bottom for the string through body option, and a neck plate. That's pretty much it. We can oogle at this beautiful color, as well as the beautiful roasted maple neck. Now, you may be wondering, what is the weight of this particular bass? Both the D5 and the P5 that I have come in at 8.5 pounds roughly, which is very good, especially compared to the Sires of yesterday. I know the early Generation 1 V7s were definitely known for being boat anchors, so it's nice to see Sire doing some quality weight management. All of the Generation 2 basses that I currently own from Sire are around 8.5 to 9.5 pounds, give or take. I don't really have any boat anchors, though again, your mileage may vary, but things have been pretty consistent on my end, and I've purchased them from various sources. Now, one thing I want to point out here is the truss rod access. It's excellent. Unlike some of the Fenders that I've played more recently, the USA Fender has an extremely tight truss rod access hole and requires a special tool, which they provide, don't get me wrong. I just don't like using a non-standard Allen wrench that is proprietary to a particular instrument to adjust the truss rod. I appreciate that Sire makes theirs very accessible on this and all their instruments, so that is definitely something that I commend them for. Great truss rod access here, and the neck has been very sturdy in the month or so that I've had this. Now, I know you're all wondering, well, what does this bass sound like? You guys know what you need to do. Go ahead and pinch that like button so my hand will turn back to normal. Thanks. Yeah, this is a great sounding bass and a very good P bass. Now, one thing I do have to note is the pickup does lack a little bit of the low end. It is very much, mid and upper mids focused. You do get a little bit of booty there, but you're not getting as much as you would on, let's say, a Fender. And we're going to do a comparison shortly, but I just wanted to point out that I find the one weak point of this bass is the pickup, where I find everything else on it to be extremely strong, especially for the $500 price point. Now for controls, we only have a master volume and master tone. So a lot of the changes in dynamics and stuff are really going to come from your hands or however you're playing this bass. So we're going to play fingerstyle with the pick and slap it as well so we can hear all the differences. What you've heard thus far is the tone fully open at 100%. Let's go ahead and hear that one more time. Yeah, this is a grunty pickup. It definitely has some growl and grit to it. Let's go ahead and turn the tone down to about 50% now. That is a fat sounding bass. Now, that is more of what I expect of, tone fully open on something like a Fender, which sounds a little bit fuller. However, with the tone down, you're not really getting a lot of bump or bark out of this. It's not really that high of an output pickup. I think that this is probably similar to the pickup that's in the P7, which definitely leans on the preamp quite a bit. And with no preamp available, you're kind of getting the raw sound. So I think a more classic styled pickup with a little bit more bottom end might do this bass some favors, and I think we're going to be modding it in the near future. Keep an eye out for that video. But stock, I think the pickup just lacks a little bit of oomph. Now here's the tone all the way down. Very nice, very nice. Now let's go ahead and turn the tone back up and bring out the pick. I'm going to be using this big old Dunlop felt pick, and let's see how it sounds. Still working on that. Now let's go ahead and turn the tone down to about 50%. And here's the tone all the way down. Not too bad. Now I'm going to turn the tone back up to around 50% and do a little palm muting with the pick. That sounded really nice with the palm muting and the pick. I like that. Now let's turn the tone back up all the way. Let's give her some slapping. Yes, this bass slaps excellently. First, I have to say that the neck profile is more Stingray-esque and not so much a P bass because it has a thinner nut width than your typical P bass. This is at 41.3 millimeters, which is just where the Stingrays are. So that is very neat and very comfortable. I find this bass very good for slap, and even though the pickup does lack a little bit of that lower end grunt that you expect from a P bass, it does slap excellently and sounds great slapped. Now, let's get to that thing I was talking about the pickup. I find that you really can't dial in with your playing any real additional like bottom end from it. Here, I'm going to leave the tone up all the way and just play a little lick, and then I'm going to bring out my Mexican P bass and play the same lick. You'll see what I'm talking about. So yeah, if you hear that, you know, when you dig in, it kind of, you get more bark, but you don't get any more bottom end. And I think that has to do with the pickup here. So I will be swapping this out for another pickup. You're going to see that video, don't worry about it. It's going to be a really nice pickup, one that we really haven't seen before on this channel or in any other video. So keep an eye out for that. I think this is a superb instrument. The neck is so comfortable to play. I find this to just play like butter. Absolute butter. You have the lacquered fingerboard and lacquered headstock facing as well, and the rolled fret edges. The back of the neck is a satin, and it just is so smooth and easy to glide up and down the neck. This is just awesome. It also balances pretty well in the lap. I did play this with a strap at a little rehearsal with some friends, and I didn't really find it neck divey that much, but I think a set of Hipshot ultralight tuners would definitely improve the situation a little bit. As I say with all non-lightweight tuners, I mean, you can only bring the weight down, and that's not a bad thing, but overall, I think for $500, this is a stellar bass. Now finally, let's go ahead and throw some drums behind it. So here are my final thoughts on the Sire P5. It's not a perfect P bass, but it is damn close for $500. I think that everything that you get here is superb, except for the pickup, which I think lacks a little bit of low end and a little bit of output. The hardware, I think, is acceptable for the price range. In fact, I think it's pretty good for, you know, a $500 base. That being said, you know, it would definitely benefit from some lightweight tuners and maybe a better bridge. I am going to be modding this bass, so keep an eye out for that video. But out of the box, I think that this is a stellar package, just like the V5. The color options that you get, though limited, are definitely eye-catching. With this absolutely brilliant red, you have the mint green, and then a sunburst. So very interesting and eye-catching finish options, especially paired with the standard Tort pickguard. That's the only one available. I don't believe there's any black or white available with any of the models. You get a Tort, and I think it looks pretty good, especially for a $500 base. The neck, I mean, what's there to say? I love these necks, and the D5 and P5 both share the same dimensions and are both absolutely stellar to play. Very comfortable, easy to navigate, and the rolled fret edges and the lacquered fingerboard and the satin back of the neck just make it feel so premium, as that sort of thing you really don't see on instruments at this price point. You usually see these features on much more premium instruments, so the fact that they can deliver this at $500 with everything that you see here is quite solid. Again, I will be doing a mod video on this to see if we can make this the perfect P bass with a pickup swap and maybe some hardware changes. But other than that, I am very impressed with this bass. So what am I going to rate the Sire P5? Yeah! I am going to go ahead and rate this bass 4 claws out of 5. Sire has put together a spectacular $500 P bass. I would recommend this easily over any Squire and even over the Mexican Fenders. That being said, I do find my Mexican Fenders pickup to have a little bit more output and a little bit more low end, which I'd like to see out of a P bass, especially one so eye-catching. So we will be swapping out this pickup, and I think that is going to be the icing on the cake for this otherwise absolutely stellar bass. Well, that will do it for the Sire P5 review. Has this bass lived up to its expectations for you? Go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like, subscribe, join our Discord channel, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the Sire P5 in a gorgeous lobster red. And as always, until we groove again,